Boom, borrow, bubbles, beware or bust. Greetings from Ballarat, Victoria, Australia. I'm Jerome Nugent-Smith, and this is the first in a series of episodes on this broad topic. Today's episode we're going to drill down in terms of the relationship between Australia and China, and specifically one product, iron ore. Now, the importance of iron ore, well, first of all, the importance of China, I should say, is that it represents about 33% of Australia's total exports. That's a very significant amount. Iron ore represents even further. It represents 43% of Australia's total exports. And again, drilling down, you have one particular state, Western Australia, where 82% of Western Australia's exports is one product, iron ore. So this has enormous impact both in terms of the Australian economy, its standard of living of its 26 million citizens, and of course in terms of what happens on the Australian stock market and other global stock markets. So Australia being one of the most significant producers of iron ore in the world, then it obviously has a direct impact on resource stocks both in Australia, in China and globally. So having put the importance of iron ore into context, let's overlay that with the political considerations which are occurring both in terms of within Australia and within China, and the broad relationship between Australia and China. Now, you would think that given that China is Australia's most important customer, that we would treat China with some degree of respect and courtesy. But that's not the case. Ever since our Prime Minister Scott Morrison has come to power, he basically has treated China with complete disrespect. And in fact, it's gone further than that in terms of Morrison setting the political tone, which is being reflected within the cabinet, the broader ministry, the government, the bureaucracy and the military, to such an extent that today, in September 2021, one could say that Australia's relationship with China is shot. It's finished, kaput. Why? Well, the last straw that broke the camel's back was the signing of a nuclear submarine deal between Australia, the USA and Great Britain. Now this is just, as I said, the final straw that broke the camel's back. Australia has aggressively insulted China for the last 4 or 5 years, and particularly since Prime Minister Morrison has come to power. Why, you might ask? Well, I don't know. I don't know what the thinking of the Prime Minister is. If you're running a business, the last thing you would do is go out of your way to insult somebody that bought a third of your product or service, or in the case of Western Australia, 82%. 82% of Western Australians' exports is iron ore. Now, the reason why this is significant and absolutely critical is that if you strip everything away, in my opinion, Australia basically is one product, one country. The product is iron ore and the country is China. Now, having destroyed that completely, I'm going to make a bold prediction. In my opinion, within the next 5 years and possibly earlier, Australians will see that its iron ore exports to China basically fall to next to zero. That's right, zero or next to zero. So in other words, this is going to have enormous impact on the economics of Australia, the fortunes of particular states like Western Australia, and it's going to have massive impacts on the Australian stock market and to a lesser extent on global stock markets. So Given that every single Australian has a superannuation fund, or every adult Australian has a superannuation fund, then it's going to have a major impact on every single Australian superannuation fund, because each of those superannuation funds has investment in the blue chip resource stocks like BHP, Rio Tinto, Fortescue Metals, and so on. It's going to, if I'm correct, and I believe that I am in my prediction that Australia's exports of iron ore to China will fall from its dizzy heights of today, September 2021, to next to zero within 5 years, then all hell is going to break loose in terms of the Australian economy and the Australian stock market. So where next in terms of opportunities? Well, obviously it will present major opportunities, investment opportunities in terms of the resource stocks and moving money out of those resource stocks and basically becoming very liquid, which is one of the reasons why, if you've been following my Making Money on the Stock Market programs, that you would realise that I'm in the process of setting up a hedge fund, a $5 million hedge fund, and are looking to put that money together and to achieve a return on investment of over 1,000% over the next 12 months. So I'd suggest that every Australian basically have a serious look at their superannuation portfolios, whether it's with an external fund or whether they're managing it themselves, and give a lot of serious thought to what is happening in terms of Australia's relationship with China. Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to talking with you further on episode 2 of Boom, Borrow, Bubbles, Beware or Bust. In between time, you're more than welcome to come to my U3A classes in Ballarat, Victoria, or alternatively to tune in to Radio 3BA the first Tuesday of every month with Brett Mack at 10:45 a.m. Bye for now.